Longer, a member of the Assad family running Syria. Bashar al-Assad and his family fled to Russia as rebels celebrated victory. Joining me now to talk more about this is Congressman Mike Quigley. And Congressman, oftentimes you get a much better view than we do here at home of what is going on internationally. So let's talk about the current situation in Syria. To your knowledge, who is in charge of the government there and how fragile is it?
Well, look, first of all, it's great news on one hand because of the end of the brutal reign, as you say, 50 years of the Assad family, but real trepidation and concern about what takes place next. The rebel group most responsible, HTS, for this has been labeled a terrorist organization. Its leader, Jalani, has a $10 million bounty on his head by the FBI. So I guess that's as close to who's in charge now. They, of course, will have to find some sort of ability to cobble together a government with the other factions spread throughout Syria. But again, real concerns on a number of fronts. What happens to the chemical weapon program that Assad had? Who governs? And, will ISIS reconstitute itself there and present a real threat, not just in the region, but to the United States as well?
Yeah, lots of concerns here. This sounds like it poses an immense security risk to the United States.
Yeah, we still have 1,000 troops there, currently still battling with the remnants of ISIS. But a lot of groups that are friendly to the U.S., groups that would be willing to work with others there, like the Kurds. But obviously there are competing factions and influences by other foreign leaders. Obviously, Russia, Iran has had a real blow to their ability to use Syria and the groups there as proxies. Good news there, but still, there are other interests there that they can use and create risk to ourselves and our allies.
How often are you being briefed about this situation?
Well, we just got back to Washington yesterday, so I suspect those briefings will begin today and throughout this week and next week. It's obviously not the only concern there. It is a very dangerous world as we speak, with concerns on many fronts.
You know, the U.S. got involved with nation building during the Iraq War and with Afghanistan. We have seen the results there. Not the best. So how does the U.S. take better steps this time to ensure that Syria doesn't fall into the hands of ISIS or maybe another radical group?
Look, at some point you must have some sort of presence there to address this so that those threats don't come home here. It's a very difficult balance, and we've seen the mistakes we made in Iraq, efforts in Afghanistan that didn't help the situation. And it cannot be a unilateral effort. This has to be multinational efforts working with our allies to understand what's best, try to find out who we can work with within Syria to form a responsible, effective government. You know, the great hope here is that the tens and thousands of refugees that left Syria can now go home. But there's a very real concern that without effective governance, benevolent government, those risks will remain and more refugees would have to leave.
Thanks so much, Congressman Quigley, for your time this morning. And please join us again if you have more information about this situation.
Glad to. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anita?